Hey everybody, LQ here with the LQ review, back with my review for Dumbo, the new Disney live-action adaptation of Dumbo. So this is a movie that I'm not too sure why it got made, to be honest with you. You know, you look at a lot of the Disney live-action adaptations, and there's clear reasons for them to exist. You look at Beauty and the Beast. You know, Beauty and the Beast was probably the most critically successful animated movie of all time. You know, you look at The Lion King, the most financially successful animated movie of all time. You know, you look at Maleficent, a beloved Disney property of Sleeping Beauty. Dumbo, while I guess you can make the argument that it's beloved, it's not really one of those classics that people refer to when they start talking about the best of all time, the best Disney cartoons of all time. Dumbo's not even in that conversation. Um, Dumbo is often in the conversation of the most racist Disney cartoons of all time with the crows, which the crows weren't even in the movie, thank goodness. But it is not usually in the conversation of the best. So it was it did a decent job of retelling the original story of Dumbo, of hitting those same beats with the mother being taken away and Dumbo having to perform. And so, it did a decent enough job of hitting those same beats. But I don't know when Disney's just going to part ways with Tim Burton. Tim Burton's style, in my opinion, just doesn't fit with Disney. You know, we've seen how his style works with Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass, and it didn't gel with Disney then. And that was more up his alley, you know? Alice in Wonderland was more up his alley stylistically, visually, than Dumbo is. I hate sitting down and watching a Tim Burton movie and just knowing it's a Tim Burton movie based on the stylistic choices that he's making and the musical choices that are being made. It's clear that this is a Tim Burton movie. And those choices that Tim Burton makes, that style that he has, does not mesh with the classic idea of what Dumbo is. Dumbo is bright. Dumbo is a fantasy. Dumbo is joyful. There's nothing joyful in this movie. There's nothing joyful in this movie. The movie's sombering, actually. It is a sombering movie. There are some good points in this movie. Danny DeVito's great. Danny DeVito is great as the head of the circus. You know, he brings a certain energy, a certain charm. You know, you see Danny DeVito in this movie and you think, yes, that's old school circus. And it feels like it. And he just brings this authenticity to Dumbo that I really appreciated. Colin Farrell, great job. You know, Colin Farrell came in and Colin Farrell, for all intents and purposes, is the lead of the movie, and his story was one that you could connect with, that the average person could connect with. I've said it before. Movies, especially movies that are fantastical, fantasy, adventure type movies, they have to have an avatar for the audience. They have to have somebody in the movie that the audience can instantly connect to and see the movie, what's happening in the movie through the eyes of that character. And that's definitely Colin Farrell in this movie. You know, he's just come back from war. He's lost an arm. He's trying to reconcile his life where his wife has died. He's trying to reconcile his life with his kids, who because he was out at war and because they had a tough year losing their mom, they're a little estranged. So he's trying to reconcile his life, and all of a sudden he's thrust into this new role at the circus where he used to be a horseback rider and now he's elephant caretaker. A role that he doesn't have much experience in, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's this fantasy that's playing out right before his eyes. So Colin Farrell did a good job of personifying that wonder that we're supposed to be feeling in Dumbo. The problem is we just weren't feeling it. There was no payoff when we learned that Dumbo could fly. It was just something that we had to accept right away in the movie, was that this elephant can fly. And I don't know, that the movie kept on taking these steps where we were thinking that there would be some big payoff to Dumbo's flight, and really the movie is just about reuniting Dumbo with his mom, which I guess is a sweet story. It's a sweet story. It's a nice sentiment, but I felt like it could have been a movie without a flying elephant, and the same story could have been told. It felt like he was a flying elephant just because it's Dumbo and he's got to fly. So I felt like that didn't add anything to the story, and I think that was one of the big problems I had with it, was just the fact that the flight didn't add any excitement, it didn't add any wonder, it didn't add anything to the story that you could have told this story without the flight component. You could have. So that was a big disconnect for me. Michael Keaton, didn't love him in this movie. I didn't love him in this movie. And you know what? Michael Keaton plays a good villain. We've seen that. He played Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. Michael Keaton can go villainous when he wants to. The problem is that here we've got a guy who's making business decisions, and yeah, they're crappy business decisions. And we're watching him destroy lives in the process. But we're also watching his life get ruined in the process because of the decisions he's making. There's nothing fun about the character. You know, I'm watching a Disney movie called Dumbo. I want the characters, even the villains, to be fun, right? And there was nothing fun about this, about his character. And speaking of which, I don't think there's a lot of fun for kids in this. It's a Disney movie. It's a Disney live action adaptation. This should be kid friendly. And I just don't think there was a lot in here for kids. It was dark. The material was dark. Aesthetically, it was dark. You're watching it and you're like, yep, this is a dark movie. The color palettes are muted. Everything is dark. This is not a kid's movie. It's a dark movie. It should be a kid's movie, but for some reason, Disney wants to keep Tim Burton employed, so we keep getting movies that aren't kids' movies that should be, because Tim Burton gotta eat. So, there was some good stuff in this movie, though. Like I said, Colin Farrell was great. Danny DeVito was great. The kids did a good job. Eva Green, man, everything that she's in, I love. I love her performance. I don't love every movie she's in. 300, Rise of the Empire. So same here with Dumbo. Eva Green brought it. Did a great job. And so that's just kind of where I'm at. You know, a great cast, some great performances, surrounded by a story that just tonally all wrong for the story that they're telling. This was a very meh movie for me. I can't say that it was like a bad movie. I'm not going to watch it again, but I didn't hate myself while I was watching it. You know, this was meh. Thanks for showing me Dumbo. No need to watch it again, but thanks. Yeah, it was just there. So it should have been better. It should have been better, but it wasn't. And this was a strike for Disney. So I still think they're gonna have a great year. They got a lot of great things coming on the horizon. But Dumbo was I won't say Dumbo was a swing and a miss, but Dumbo was a foul ball. Dumbo is a foul ball, and we'll see if they can rebound. I think they will. Disney's next movie is Avengers Endgame. I think they're gonna be fine. But you know, Dumbo was what it was. What do you think of Dumbo? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for being here at the LQ Review, where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, thanks a lot for being here.